Today we're talking about how to attract women naturally. This is something that's difficult for the vast majority of men, where essentially you're going to get into a stage where women want to interact with you, or let's say you're just going to your day-to-day basis. Women are going to just be like starting up conversations and just making it a little bit more interesting. And the reason I say it's difficult for the vast majority of men, or the reason why this doesn't happen as much, is essentially the dating scene. It's completely changed. Women have gotten a whole lot more pickier, but we're not going to really dive too much into the dating aspect. I'm going to just be giving you guys pointers on what you can do to start attracting women naturally. They'll be wanting to interact with you, socialize. Also, if you're a subscriber and you're wondering why I'm creating this content, essentially the vast majority of my views come from the woman attraction retention videos, so that's the reason why I'm creating this content. But anyways guys, let's go ahead and dive into the pointers on how to attract women naturally. All right, so the first point I want to start off with is essentially you guys need to become good looking. You need to become attractive. So realize that the competition is not that high. You have Pareto's law, or I'm pronouncing his name pretty bad, I'm butchering it, but essentially the law that he created was the 80-20 rule. So essentially 20% of the guys are getting the vast majority of dates, relationships, and it's not that difficult to become part of that 20%. Of course, on dating apps, that rule is becoming like the 90-10 or the 95-5 rule, but in person, your chances are still pretty high of getting that interaction. And essentially, you guys, you want to be at the best possible shape of your life. You want to become really good looking, so I recommend you guys start working out. And the reason why I say the competition is really low is because the vast majority of people are overweight, they're out of shape. So if you're to look at the average person, just go to your supermarket, go to the store, go to a social event, you go to any bars, or just wherever you see people just in general. Don't go based off gyms, because gyms you're only going to see the fit people, but just anywhere like where you just get a vast majority of people of just a random selection, start noticing the people around. Look at how many people are out of shape, how many people work out. You'll be like, oh, okay, well, like one out of every 10 people or 2 out of 10 people, these people look like they're decently in shape. And it doesn't take that much effort to get into shape. I know if you're just starting off, it feels like, honestly, you just don't know where to start. And then also it seems like it's the most difficult thing to do, and that's why the vast majority of people just don't do it. Also, it's not a priority on their hand. So statistically, I think it's like 60, or let's say 60 to 50% of the vast majority of people are overweight. Statistically, I forgot what that number is. That number's probably actually gotten a whole lot more higher. So realize that honestly, half your competition is already out of shape. So if you just start working out and you start putting in that effort, or let's say you're one of those people that you're out of shape, it doesn't take it's going to take a lot of work and effort on your side, but realize you're gonna have a lot more attraction with women just in general. And the reason I say that is because based off my own experiences, I noticed that when I was pretty much skinny and it was really difficult to put on that weight, essentially when I was skinny, I didn't get any attention. And now that I put on more mass and I look more attractive just in general, if I was to put myself on like a scale 1 to 10, I would assume I'm probably like a 7 or an 8 on the scale. So right there, that kind of shows you how attractive you are just in general. But then again, you go based off of what the market says. So this is just me going to my day-to-day basis. So I recently got surgery, and then I was checking in, and then I ended up talking to this receptionist. She started asking me about my tattoos, and you know, she was just trying to start up that conversation, which I found it a little bit unique, because like typically before I started putting on the mask, women just wouldn't want to start conversations just in general. And then previously before that, it was like maybe like 2-3 months before. Keep in mind, women aren't gonna talk to you all the time. It just happens out of the blue. It's like out of the ordinary. So I was just doing my normal thing, and this woman, she just started a conversation based off my concert t-shirt. She was like, oh, you went to that concert? I was like, yeah, it was really badass, it was nice, it was something to remember. And we just started from there and started a conversation, and it all started going naturally. So obviously she wasn't just talking to me just because of that. It's because she found me somewhat attractive, and when people find you attractive, they actually listen to you a whole lot more, and they also want to interact with you a lot more as well. So this is something that you'll notice. Look at the vast majority of YouTubers. Majority of them are probably attractive or somewhat good looking. Of course, you have your exceptions where there's like your average person, or you have people that are a little bit below average on looks. But if you were to kind of look at the vast majority of them, I would consider them decent looking people. So realize that your looks are something that's really important. Of course, I'm not denying the fact of working on your personality. Your personality is another thing, and that's the next section that we're going to go into, is having a nice personality, learning how to be social, be calibrated. You guys want to make sure you learn how to talk, because you're going to just go to your day-to-day interactions. So let's say hypothetically you are getting these interactions, but you don't know how to hold a conversation. Obviously that conversation is going to just fall flat and it's not going to go anywhere. So you want to make sure that you're able to hold a conversation and just keep somebody's attention. Also remember that the conversation has to go both ways, because there's times that I've been on dates and I'm like, well, this date is not going anywhere, and it gets a little bit awkward, it gets quiet. I'm like, this person, they're just not talking, and it makes me want to leave. And I'm like, okay, well, I come up with an excuse. I'm like, hey, it's getting a little bit late, I gotta wake up early for work, I gotta go. And I actually have done that on several occasions. Luckily, in the current relationship that I'm in, my girlfriend, she's actually really talkative, which I kind of rely on her to be talkative, just because like me, I'm a little bit talkative, but I find it difficult to start conversations. So you do have to be honest and with yourself on where you are lacking and where you can improve. Just remember, it takes time, it takes effort, but once you start working on that personality, obviously you're going to be attracting women naturally once you started working out. Of course, keep in mind, you're going to be putting in the effort for like 3 months to 2 years, and that's a lot of work and effort on your side. But after that, you start getting the rewards where you just do a little bit to maintain your physique and you're looking the best, and you're going to just be confident just in general. And that's the other thing which I'm going to talk to. That's why I'm emphasizing working out, because when you become attractive, you start feeling confident, and then confidence is another thing that women are attracted to. I recently brought my girlfriend onto the YouTube channel, and essentially she was able to confirm that, hey, women do notice when the guys are confident or when they're just like, you know, like shy and timid. They can sense it. And I want you guys to realize that you're going to start building up your social game, and then you're going to have the good looks. You're going to start feeling really confident. You're gonna be like, oh, okay, well, I can just talk to whoever. And I want you guys to get into a pattern where you're just like, hey, good morning, good afternoon, or just whenever you pass somebody, and not everybody's gonna respond back. Or you could be like, hey, how's it going? And people will be like, good. And just get that small conversation. It's a small start for those of you guys that find that very difficult. Also, I want you guys to remember that it takes time. This doesn't happen right away. So a lot of people expect results, and you guys are gonna really notice when you start working out, you start hitting the gym, you're not gonna see any results at the beginning. And the same thing applies to everything out there. Like me, I don't expect results right away on my YouTube channel. I realize, okay, well, maybe I have to put a couple hundred videos out there before I get a response back. And eventually you will start slowly seeing the results. And that's one thing that I noticed when I started working out. I was like, okay, well, I saw a little bit of muscle, and then you keep on working out, and you start seeing more and more muscle, and then you go back a year later and you're like, whoa, I look completely different. So that's the thing that you guys will notice, is over time, your experiences just in general, you're going to see the huge difference, and you're going to be reflecting. I want you guys to reflect and compare yourself where you were to where you guys are now. So make sure that you realize it's going to take time. Also, don't have high expectations. A lot of these videos will mislead you and say, okay, well, women are going to start talking to you and all that. And of course it's going to happen, but maybe it's once a month, maybe it's once every 3 months. It's just going to happen randomly. It's not like it's going to happen every single day or every single week. So kind of keep your expectations low. Don't expect a whole lot, and be realistic with yourself. Just realize you need to be focused on yourself, and that goes into our next point, is focusing on your goals. So when you guys focus on your goals and your ambitions, it's going to show that women that they're no longer a priority. They're not your main focus. Your goals and your missions are. And to them, that's going to be attractive, because they see that, hey, you're going after something, and they want to be a part of your life, because they just find that attractive just in their nature. It's just something that they're very attracted to. Just like how guys are attracted to certain little things, women are attracted to certain little things. Our next point is going to be retention. So this is something that, if you never heard about it, you're gonna think it's kind of made up. But when you have a big community that say that you see all these kinds of benefits, it kind of shows that this is kind of true. And I want you guys to realize that this community of retention, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it like on the end screen of the video, so you guys can click at the end of the video. Essentially, retention, you can start attracting women naturally. Obviously, it shouldn't be your main way to start attracting people. You should be attracting women naturally just by your good looks and your personality. But this is like an added bonus that you guys can honestly do. So give that a practice and give it a try. So it's something free that you guys can do. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and just put it up there at the end of the video, so you guys can go ahead and click on it and see exactly what I'm talking about. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed today's video, don't forget to smash that like button, and I'll go ahead and catch you guys in the next.